Building a strong strategic network is challenging for anybody, but it can be particularly challenging for women. If you're finding it difficult to network outside your operational circle, that's only normal if you're working in a male-dominated environment, because your male colleagues are going to be building relationships with people who are just like them on one important dimension, while you don't have that basis of similarity. If that's the case, don't think that you're having difficulty because you're shy or because you're not good at building networks. It's just simply harder for you to create that common ground because you're working across one more dimension of difference. In particular, when you're trying to network up to people who are more senior than you and outside your group. All of this means that you need to start early and take a long-term view in building your network. I've found in my research that men's work and social networks tend to overlap a lot more than women. So for example, my male colleagues might work on a project together and then go off and play tennis and see each other over the weekend for a barbecue. Whereas my women colleagues often see a whole different bunch of people outside of working hours. The research that shows that women's work and personal networks tend to overlap less than men's also shows that there's an interesting pattern. That overlap becomes less and less as women start to have children, and their personal network starts to become much more focused on kids, on school, on family, and starts to become more and more different from the work-related network. That's also when the time crunch comes in, where you're trying to make calculations. Is this networking event going to be worth the trade-off of not being home for dinner or home for homework or whatever other responsibility you might have? Here, what's important to keep in mind is that you don't need to do every networking event. You choose the ones that you think are going to be the most important, and then you fully invest in a smaller number of them. You attend, you speak out, you stay for the networking part, you make sure you're meeting a few new people, but you focus and invest on a few. Now, why is this important? First of all, it's more time efficient when your networks overlap. You can plug your ideas, you can get the gossip at the same time as you're exercising. But the reason it really matters is that we come to trust the people we've gotten to know best when we know them personally. And that's what gives us the confidence to put them up for a stretch assignment or a big promotion. Because networking across differences is somewhat more methodical, it can sometimes feel to women as inauthentic. Lining people up so that you can use them, focusing on what value they bring to you. One of the things that helps is focusing instead on the value that you bring to your network. And once you start to realize that value that you bring to your teams and to your organization, it starts to feel more natural and more authentic.